Far below the ocean's surface, in a place where sunlight never reaches, scientists have found something unexpected: oxygen. But not the kind produced by plants or sunlight. This oxygen is made in complete darkness. Researchers are calling it dark oxygen. It's a discovery that challenges what we thought we knew about Earth's oxygen cycle, and it may even reshape how we search for life beyond our planet. For as long as modern science has existed, we've believed that oxygen on Earth comes mainly from two sources: plants on land and microscopic organisms in the ocean called phytoplankton. These organisms use photosynthesis, a process that converts sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water into oxygen and energy. But sunlight only penetrates the ocean to a depth of about 200 meters, a region known as the photic zone. Beyond that, sunlight fades and photosynthesis stops. Below this layer lies the aphotic zone, a vast, cold, and dark part of the ocean that makes up nearly 90% of its total volume. In this darkness, there shouldn't be any new oxygen produced. Life here survives mainly by consuming oxygen that drifts down from the surface or by using chemicals instead of sunlight for energy. That's why scientists were surprised when they started detecting oxygen in places it shouldn't exist, in what's known as oxygen minimum zones, or OMG. OMG are regions of the ocean where oxygen levels drop to nearly zero. They're found in areas like the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean and the Arabian Sea. For decades, these zones were thought to be almost lifeless, but recent discoveries are revealing that they're far more active than we imagined. A team of researchers from the University of Southern California and several international partners set out to study the eastern tropical North Pacific Ocean, one of the largest oxygen-depleted regions on Earth. They used advanced autonomous underwater vehicles, small robotic probes designed to collect water samples and measure chemical changes deep below the surface. These instruments traveled thousands of meters down, well past the reach of sunlight, and began collecting data from the oxygen minimum zone. When the data came back, the team noticed something puzzling. The sensors detected oxygen levels that were slightly higher than what models predicted. Not a lot, but enough to make them question what was going on. At first, they suspected instrument error or contamination from surface water. But after multiple tests and repeated measurements, the readings remained consistent. Oxygen was indeed being produced in total darkness. To understand how, the scientists analyzed microbial DNA from water samples taken at those depths. What they found changed everything. The genetic data revealed the presence of microorganisms capable of performing a chemical process similar to photosynthesis, but without sunlight. Instead of using light energy, these microbes rely on chemical reactions involving compounds like nitrites or manganese oxides to produce oxygen. This process, called chemototrophic oxygen production, allows life to generate oxygen from chemical energy alone. It's a kind of dark photosynthesis, taking place in environments once thought incapable of supporting such activity. This new mechanism has been dubbed dark oxygen production, and it may represent a hidden, global source of oxygen that scientists had never accounted for before. Dr. Laura Garcia Robledo, one of the study's lead researchers, described it this way: "We've discovered microbes that can make oxygen where sunlight never reaches. It's a process we didn't think was possible at this scale. These microorganisms are, in essence, running tiny chemical factories, producing oxygen molecule by molecule, quietly sustaining ecosystems in the deepest parts of the sea. This discovery has major implications for how we understand life on Earth, and possibly life beyond it. First, it reshapes our understanding of the oxygen cycle, the system that governs how oxygen is created, distributed, and consumed across the planet. Until now, scientists believed nearly all oxygen came from photosynthesis at the surface. But if dark oxygen production is widespread, it could mean that oxygen is also being generated deep in the ocean, in places no one expected. That changes how we think about marine chemistry, climate models, and even carbon storage. Oxygen is closely tied to how carbon moves through ecosystems. Microbes that produce oxygen in the dark might also influence how carbon is broken down or stored in sediments, potentially affecting how the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Second, this discovery provides new insight into extreme environments on Earth. If life can produce oxygen without sunlight, it suggests that biological systems are more adaptable than we thought. This means oxygen-based life might not be limited to well-lit environments, or even to our planet. Consider icy moons like Europa, which orbits Jupiter, or Enceladus, which orbits Saturn. Both have subsurface oceans sealed beneath thick layers of ice. These oceans are cut off from sunlight, much like Earth's deep ocean. If microbes on Earth can create oxygen through chemical means, similar organisms could potentially exist in those alien seas. In that sense, dark oxygen production could serve as a model for astrobiology, the study of life beyond Earth. It also forces scientists to reconsider Earth's ancient past. Billions of years ago, before plants and cyanobacteria evolved, Earth's atmosphere had little to no oxygen. Some researchers now speculate that dark oxygen-producing microbes might have played a role in the early oxygenation of the planet, setting the stage for the rise of complex life long before photosynthesis evolved. As Dr. Kenneth Nielsen, a biogeochemist not involved in the study, explained, "This could be a modern example of an ancient process. It reminds us that oxygen production may have started in the dark, not the light. The discovery of dark oxygen is a reminder that Earth is still full of mysteries, even in places we thought we understood. The deep ocean covers more than half of our planet, yet we've explored only a tiny fraction of it. Every new mission, every dive, reveals something unexpected. For centuries, humanity has looked to the stars for signs of life. But sometimes the greatest discoveries are hidden right here, beneath our own oceans. Dark oxygen tells us that life doesn't always follow our rules. It finds a way to adapt, to survive, and to innovate, even in complete darkness, under crushing pressure with no sunlight at all. Researchers are now working to measure how widespread this process is and how much oxygen these microbes might be contributing to the planet's overall balance. It may turn out to be a small fraction compared to photosynthesis, or it could be a missing piece in the puzzle of how Earth's ecosystems function. Either way, this discovery expands our understanding of biology, chemistry, and the resilience of life. So, the next time you look out over the ocean, remember, beneath that blue surface lies a hidden world where invisible organisms quietly produce oxygen in the dark. It's a world that challenges our assumptions and reminds us that Earth is still a planet of secrets waiting to be revealed. This is one of the most intriguing discoveries in modern ocean science, a new kind of oxygen created in the dark, showing us that even in the most extreme environments, life never stops finding a way.